Did you know that an average of 80% of Americans have experienced emotional blackmail at some point in their lives? An even scarier stat may be that up to 23% of all people experience emotional blackmail not from a stranger, but from their very own partner. Because of how common this kind of abuse is in the world, it's important that you clearly understand when this may be happening to you. Examples of emotional blackmail can vary significantly from case to case, but research has shown that there are some pretty clear signals for when a person is attacking you with their words. Emotional blackmail can seemingly come out of nowhere, even in a relationship that was once healthy. So make sure you watch through the entire video so you don't miss a thing. By the end of this video, you'll be able to spot emotional manipulation from a mile away, and even stop it before it has a chance to wreak havoc on your life. Number 12. They threaten to hurt themselves if you disobey them. Just by reading this, you may think that this is about as bad as it gets. But trust us when we say that emotional blackmail can get much, much uglier than this. Emotional blackmailers aren't the most subtle bunch, and they have no issues escalating a situation when they realize you aren't going to give in to their demands. A very common and unsettling example of this is when a partner threatens to either hurt themselves or even end their own life if you don't follow their orders. This is a very desperate way for them to control you, and crazily enough, sometimes these people will actually believe what they are saying in the moment. You should never feel like a person's life is in your hands, especially when it's your partner's, and this is a very clear red flag that there are some serious issues going on between you. Number 11. I've talked with so-and-so, and they agree with me that you're wrong. Signs of emotional blackmail are usually pretty straightforward, as they mostly involve the abuser trying to manipulate you into siding with them over yourself. One of the ways that these people will attempt to sway you is to make it seem like you are acting erratically or that you are so in the wrong that other people can't help but side against you. Often, the people who will be brought up are ones you respect, such as a religious figure at your place of worship, a mutual friend, or their own family members. The goal here is to manipulate you into thinking that you are being unreasonable and that your decision is misguided. This is also often referred to as gaslighting, and it can really have a negative impact on the person being gaslit. Number 10. I'm doing this with or without you. Another one of the more popular emotional blackmail examples occurs when the blackmailer presents an ultimatum. There are quite a few variations on this one, but a common line will be, I'm doing this with or without you. Maybe they're trying to get you to go somewhere with them, like a vacation or trip, or maybe they want to force you into agreeing to do something you aren't comfortable with. Whatever the reason, this kind of conversation forces you onto the back foot, giving them the leverage. You don't want to be a bad partner, and if you are in a relationship, you probably want to make the other person happy and agree with them. But you should be careful giving in to this kind of tactic, as it will only make things worse. When you give an inch to this kind of partner, they'll take a mile and continue hammering you with guilt and ultimatums from then on. Number 9. If you loved me, you wouldn't do this. Often, emotional blackmail only really makes sense to the person being affected by it, as lines like this reek of desperation. If your partner calls into question your feelings for them, that is manipulation on their part, especially if they use the word love. A healthy relationship is about communication, and a good partner would never throw your own feelings or words at you in order to make a point. Number 8. It's me or them. Abusers don't like competition, and they tend to get jealous over trivial things. Being in a relationship like this is tiring, and for many people it can feel easier to give in to their crazy demands than continue to fight. An abusive partner will try to isolate you and emotionally blackmail you into feeling like hanging with your friends is a crime or something you have to apologize for. Number 7. Your cooking is the reason I'm fat. Another example of emotional blackmail that many people will experience in their lifetime is unwarranted blame, usually for the other person's insecurities. If a person struggles with their weight or body image, they may blame your cooking for making them this way, or they might say that your neediness makes it hard for them to go to the gym. This may make them feel better, but it clearly isn't a good or even logical thing to say. By the way, make sure to subscribe if you've learned something new today. Number 6. You'll never see your kids again. Another scary one that is as much a threat as it is blackmail. This kind of thing is a clear sign that you are with a very damaged individual. If it seems clear that you will no longer be staying with a long-term partner, they may try to use the stuff you've built together as ammunition to force you into staying. They will threaten to keep you from your kids, to tank your business, and to badmouth you to all of your mutual friends. Number 5. I'll hurt anybody that tries to take you away from me. Emotional blackmail can get really sinister sometimes, and it can cause the person to say some really dark and disturbing things. On occasion, the abuse can get so bad that they will threaten to hurt your friends or family for speaking poorly about them, and this is when their possessive side really comes out. While most of the time these kinds of threats are nothing more than talk, it still can be absolutely horrifying to hear a person you once pictured a life with turning to such scary tactics just to keep you in their lives. Number 4. They want to know all of your secrets. Boundaries are not something that an emotional blackmailer respects, and they will go to great lengths to pry open anything you keep to yourself. Boundaries are healthy for any relationship, but these people tend to be insecure and believe that any secret is something serious that could ruin the relationship. What is ironic about this is that these people don't tend to be very open themselves, and will often keep huge skeletons in their closet and not even hint at their existence to you. If you feel a person is overstepping boundaries you have firmly stated, then you should consider that to be a very concerning sign. Number 3. They turn the crowd against you. Most humans aren't their truest selves in public, and that's perfectly fine. When you're going out to grab a bite to eat with your partner, the last thing you want to do is argue loudly in the middle of a crowded restaurant and cause a scene. When these things happen, it causes us to get embarrassed and try to hide. And that's exactly why emotional blackmailers often use public spaces to get their way. They will bring up arguments seemingly out of nowhere in an effort to make you uncomfortable, and they will use the extra eyes against you. Afterwards, they may try to act as if they didn't mean for that to happen, but that's a complete lie. These people are willing to put themselves in really awkward positions, as long as it means they get their way, and that is about as childish as you can get as an adult. Number 2. They bring up your mistakes a lot. We all make mistakes, and it's natural in a relationship for you to let your partner down on occasion. As long as you are able to communicate your feelings and change for the better, you should never be ashamed of not being perfect. What isn't okay is when a partner continues to bring up your mistake for seemingly no reason. In a regular relationship, this is often a sign that the other person isn't completely over your mistake, or that they need to talk more about it. In a toxic or abusive relationship involving an emotional blackmailer, though, they are only pointing out your flaws to tear you down. They don't really even care about your mistake, only that they can hold it over you and make you feel bad about it. In this position, it is easier for them to get their way and keep you from rebelling. Number 1. They can't accept responsibility. A person who uses emotional blackmail does not usually have the confidence to accept responsibility for their actions. If they aren't blaming you, they are coming up with some sort of excuse in order to avoid having to look at themselves for even a moment. If you bring up problems in the relationship, they are quick to dismiss you and may even call you crazy for thinking that way. Ultimately, most relationships involving an emotional blackmailer don't end happily because they can't even look in the mirror long enough to make necessary changes to themselves. And if you liked this video, then check out these related videos to see more. And make sure to subscribe and leave a comment saying, "I subscribed," and we will personally reply to your comment.